3, 2, 1.
All right, Pat. So, of course, the 2021 NLL season was canceled, but there were a ton of Halifax Thunderbirds rookies selected in the 2020 NLL Entry Draft back in September that we were excited about watching, even if it was just in training camp, them kind of pushing for a spot. We've already taken a look at Ethan Riggs. We're kind of moving down the list now. This is a second-round pick by the Halifax Thunderbirds, came at number 27. And that is Ryan Terefenko. He is a graduate senior playing for The Ohio State University. Halifax is an organization no stranger to players from this university. But Pat, what can you tell me about Terefenko? There were a couple of members on the coaching staff saying that this was the sleeper pick of this entire draft. So, I mean, that's high praise.
Absolutely, and I think this is the player that I was interested in the most. And I think he kind of got pushed under the rug because of two reasons. One, he's an American-born player that has never played box lacrosse. And two, as you mentioned, he was going back to Ohio State. So we weren't going to see him until the following season. But now with the season being pushed back, he is going to be with his rookie draft class, everyone that he was drafted with. So this is a guy that everyone in this organization is excited about. He's a supreme athlete. He's a three-time All-American short stick defender. So he knows how to play defense with that short stick. As you see some defenders play with a long pole coming from NCAA. So it's an easy transition, but he's a hard worker. He's a hard-nosed player, and he wants to learn the game. As you mentioned, Kurt Stiers loves his Buckeyes player. He'll be the fourth player if he does make this team. And I think he's a guy that is going to be a little bit of a project. It's going to take him a little while, but once he figures this game out, he is going to be an absolute stud. He is a machine on ground balls. He dominates the game physically, and he's a guy that I think that he has that IQ, that smart lacrosse sense, that once he gets his feet wet, he is going to be an absolute stud for this team.
Pat, in your experience with players that are kind of American born, maybe didn't start off playing box lacrosse, but what is the biggest hurdle that they face as they kind of make that transition into the NLL game and try to become dominant players in the league?
I think it's the spacing. The field is so much smaller. The floor, you're condensed. It's only 5-on-5, and you really have to worry about that two-man game, and that's something that's really difficult. In the field game, you've got a lot of space. As I mentioned, if you're a long stick defender, you've got the long stick. You can keep them out. You have nowhere to hide in box lacrosse. It's right in your face. So that's what these guys, even offensively, they have a hard time adjusting to. But Ryan Terefenko, as I mentioned, he's such a smart lacrosse player. He's such a physical specimen that I think he's going to have no problem finding his way in this game. Of course, he's not going to just jump right into the box and figure things out. I think it's going to take him a little while, but he seems like a guy, as I mentioned before, not only does he have the skill set, he has the desire to not only just play the game, but become an elite talent in the game.
Well, Ryan Terefenko, no pressure, but there are going to be a lot of eyes on you come training camp in late 2021. Pat Gregoire, thanks a lot for your insight and analysis.
Thanks for having me, buddy.